We're back at PNC Park. We were here last night but did not play because of the rain, so tonight we played two. Third doubleheader already for the Tigers, first team since 1982 to play three doubleheaders in the first month of the season. Of course, one of those Twin Bills in Detroit. That was a day-night doubleheader against the Bucks. We're going old school on you. A true Twin Bill twine-nighter. Greg Brown, Steve Blass, Robbie and Smikowski with you. So the Pirates will send Jamison Tyone to the hill. But the real story for the Pirates lately, Steve, has been the offense. Where has it gone?
I don't know. You know, baseball is a game of streaks. They were red hot with the bats early. Now they can't buy it. And here's 6 reasons why they're 1-6 in their last 7 games. You cannot win when you average more than or less than 3 runs a game. Consider that 2.4. That includes a 10-2 win. So up and down that chart, they're striking a lot. They're not striking out a lot. They're not walking a lot. And that graphic really shows the whole story, Greg, and we got to find a way to get the bats going. Simple as that, and this would be a good night to start.
Jordan Zimmermann started opening day in Detroit. When he left, the Pirates were ahead 4-2. He went 6 innings. That game, of course, went 13. The Pirates won the game.
Yeah, and you know, he's a really good pitcher, and we really didn't crush him. You know, we got some balls that found holes and everything. He is very good. Keep in mind, he faced the Pittsburgh Pirates when they were red hot. He's facing them when they're a little cold now, so I'm sure he's very much aware of that. So don't take Jordan Zimmermann for granted, not Steve, by a little bit.
Steve, I imagine nobody wants to play this game more than tonight's Pirates starter, Jamison Tyone, in Game 1.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He's really a good pitcher. He's really emerging. And he had a bad game last time out. Simple as that. But the 2 starts before that, he didn't give up any runs, including that 1 hitter. So he'll be fine. He'll be anxious to get out there. You just hope he's not too anxious. Just stay within yourself, Jamison. You'll be fine. We'll look forward to seeing you work this evening.
His last home start you saw there was a 1-hitter. So the Bucks and Tigers here at PNC Park going to play 2. And Game 1 from PNC Park is coming up next. Just moments ago, he is super anxious to get out there and put behind him one of those duds. And every starter has a handful every year, and he had his. And I'm sure he'll have a couple more during the course of the season. But the Phillies whacked him around for 5 runs on 4 hits in 1 2/3. So the Tigers might pay for that. And we just had a light drizzle. In fact, just a lightest mist at the moment. But we expect to have no interruptions.
Yeah, still a little gray, but improving. let's put it that way as we get ready to play.
Check out the Tigers starting lineup against Jamison Tyone. Rod Gardenhire in his first year as the skipper of the Tigers. This interleague game has Leonis Martin in center. Jamer Candelario plays third base. Miguel Cabrera, future Hall of Famer, at first. Nicholas Castellanos is the right fielder. Jacoby Jones, one-time Pirates minor leaguer, has a 6-game hitting streak. He's in left. Nico Goodrum starts at second. Then it's James McCann, Jose Iglesias, and Jordan Zimmerman.
And they'll be lining up against Jamison Tyone, and this is a Detroit Tiger team that is hitting much better than they were when the Pirates opened the season with them. Jamison Tyone, with that one start notwithstanding, has been outstanding. He's had 4 starts, 3 of them have been exceptional. So we're looking for him to get back to form this afternoon. He has never faced these Detroit Tigers, but he's done well in interleague action, 7 starts, 4-1. So we'll look for Jamison Tyone and his fastball and his curve.
First pitch is away, and we're underway.
I mentioned his curveball because it has been exceptional. When you match that up with 2 really good above-average fastballs, one that moves, one a little straighter, you got a nice package.
First 2 pitches out of the zone. Tyone this season has walked 7 in 22 innings. Last year, 46 walks in 134 innings. There's the strike at the knees. Mike Winters, veteran crew chief, calling the balls and strikes. Chris Siegel is the first base umpire with Rob Drake at second. Mike Malinsky is at third.
Okay, so we found the strike zone with a fastball finally. Let's see what's next.
Oh, man. Martin, you see by that reaction. That's not good.
And we
quickly a trainer out, and here comes Gardenhire.
Oh, we see guys hit foul balls off parts of the body, but
so that hit the ground and hit him in a very sensitive area, so he is obviously in severe discomfort, and really nothing you could do right now, but man.
Give him time, just got to give him time right now.
Yep.
He'll be okay, but it'll take a bit of time.
Again, there's nothing anybody can do. Doug Teeter is the head athletic trainer for the Tigers.
Just comfort and encouraging words and some time.
Martin came over in a trade with the Seattle Mariners after the Texas Rangers had signed him out of Cuba. Amateur free agent in May of 2011, dealt to the Mariners in November 2015, and 2 years later to the Cubs, as he was a deadline deal before the September 1st rosters were set last year to the Cubs. This is, you know, you appreciate the situation, but there does come a time when you have to, you know, something's got to give here.
Yeah,
you got to get going.
Get back in the box, or
either you play or you don't.
Excuse.
And Mike Winters sensitive to this, and Jamison Tyone will go ahead and throw a couple of warm-ups. And normally, Steve, you say it just takes some time, but the way things are going here for Martin, is Gardenhire asking him, "Hey, can you continue?"
I would be surprised if that's not the subject right now.
You know, at what point do you say, "Okay, guys, sorry"?
Well,
I mean, this is unbelievable.
Mike Winters will have to come over when he decides it's the right time and say, let's go. It's either get back in the box or you go in the dugout.
He's going to, realizing the situation, again, you got to be sensitive to it, and everybody has been. And so Martin will get back in there after a tough situation. 2-2 the count, and he's still not really anxious to get in there, but
he knows he has to to be left in the ball game to continue.
So Martin, who was 1 for 9 in the series in Detroit. The Pirates began this year with a 3-game sweep of the Tigers at Comerica.
I know it sounds cruel, but strike him out and let him go in the dugout and rest.
Yep, it does sound cruel, but you're right. And he misses to get it to 3-2. Martin signed as a free agent by the Tigers over the winter. And towards center field and deep. Do you believe that? Oh my goodness.
Did you see that coming?
No.
Nobody in the universe could see that scenario playing out exactly how it did.
Holy
Almost
mackerel.
not able to continue in the baseball game in the first inning. First batter of the ball game comes that close to leaving the game, and then the 2 pitches later hits it out.
That is something else.
He will hear it from all kind of directions from his teammates. As Tyone comes in with a fastball that out over the plate, and he just turns on it, and nothing cheap about it. Dead center field. His third.
Josh Bell has that ball come up on him. And Jeimer Candelario going to wind up at second base. See how they rule it. Bell playing it off to the side.
Well, it looked like first glance that he had room enough to measure that ball.
Trying to play it off to the side there. And look it into his glove.
Yeah, he's got that measured. They call it a base hit.
Now Cabrera.
This is just exactly the wrong guy you want to see after the way this game has started. Crazy kind of a home run. Ball that Josh Bell will probably tell you he should have captured. And now Cabrera. There's the off-speed pitch in for a strike, probably a little higher than he wanted to throw it, but gets out in front.
So the third home run Tyone has given up.
And that one was right on by him. That was the angry fastball. And now he's got a whole lot of wiggle room here out in front, 0-2. Try to get Cabrera to chase something to settle things down.
And he will, looks like move the runner. The tag, and no, just to get a throw from Polanco. No chance for Candelario to advance. So a big first out for Tyone as he keeps Candelario at second base. Get to our on to defense. You just saw Polanco in right, Starling Marte in center, and Corey Dickerson is in left. Colin Moran, Jordy Mercer on the left side of the Pirates infield with Adam Frazier and Josh Bell on the right side. Francisco Cervelli behind the plate for Jameson Tyone. And Starling Marte, he has started all 23 games this season and looking good out there in center lately.
Big shot in the arm out for Jameson. Let's see if he can build on it.
Nicholas Castellanos with a homer and 11 runs batted in. Tyone facing the Tigers for the first time in his career. Mercer had a play at third, but gets the shore out at first. 2 down.
You're right. This ball got out to Jordy Mercer quite quickly, and
but you know, go ahead and get the guy at first.
Yeah, it's a high percentage chance at third base, but it's a sure thing at first. 2 outs, you got your man out on the mound. 50-50.
Jacoby Jones now riding a 6-game hitting streak. And now Cervelli gets whacked. Was it on the backswing? He's gotten that a lot lately.
No, I think maybe just the thumb or the hand.
On the pitch?
Yeah, it had to be, yeah.
0-2.
Greg, you were talking before the game, showing me some charts about his curveball, but getting a lot of swings and misses, and it's just such a big weapon when he throws so hard. Both of his fastballs, the 4-seamer, 2-seamer, exceptionally above average, and then if that curveball starts getting consistent, that's a great pitch. And there it is again, doesn't get the chase that time.
Opposition hitting .083 against that Taillon curveball. It's the 3rd lowest batting average against any curve in baseball this season. Jose Barrios of the Twins, Cole Hamels of the Rangers, the only 2 with a better batting average against. 2-2 now on Jacoby Jones.
Yeah, working the ball downstairs, working the bottom of the strike zone.
Luis Martin still not comfortable, but hit the home run.
He's still feeling the effects, as is Jameson Taillon.
Yeah. And toward left center field, Marte is over, but that's over his head. On a 2-2 pitch, Jacoby Jones makes it 2-0 as he extends his hitting streak to 7 straight games.
And that looked like a curveball from Jameson Taillon. And if it was, that was a heck of a job of hitting by Jones, who you said has the hot bat. Yep. And a good-looking pitch. That's just flat-out good hitting. That's a hot bat working.
Nico Goodrum, a switch hitter, getting the call at second base tonight. Game 1, late this afternoon, I guess we should say. Jacoby Jones back up to the big leagues and making the most of it.
As we said, this is not the same Detroit hitting team that the Pirates saw in Detroit. They've been much better lately. Into the game with a record of 9-11.
2.5 back of the Indians and the American League Central, tied with the Twins.
You see the change of location downstairs, just barely missing, but then coming back upstairs with some heat to get even in the count. A big base hit by Jones, because Jameson was going to escape with minimal damage, but they add one on.
Barrel of the bat goes sailing between Bell and Frazier. Fouled off.
At least unlike Bryce Harper, that broken bat didn't go over the fence. That ball that hit that bat and shattered it, as Harper did. It's got to be a weird feeling to wind up just that little bitty stick in your hands.
Yeah.
Jameson looking for his first strikeout. A chance here.
And there it is, but a disappointed Jameson Taillon as he gives up the home run to Leonis Martin, and then a couple of doubles and a 2-0 early lead for the Tigers. and Detroit adds on another against Tyone. We'll see about this Pirates offense. And the RAV4 starting lineup for Clint Hurdle's Bucks. Adam Frazier back in there leading off at second. Gregory Polanco, Starling Marte follow. Josh Bell hits cleanup. Then it's Corey Dickerson and Francisco Cervelli. Colin Moran, the third baseman. Jordy Mercer, 8 home games this season, hitting at a .444 clip at PNC Park. And then Jamison Tyone.
They will try to continue their work on Jordan Zimmerman that they started in Detroit. This is start number 5. Giving up 3 home runs. The Tigers running him out there for his 5th start of the season. 31-year-old right-hand veteran Jordan Zimmerman. Known a lot for his really good slider, has always shown very good control. Walked 1 in that loss against the Pirates.
Does not get a call there against Adam Frazier. Frazier, you see, wearing that C Cup extension on the batting helmet today. More and more players going to that extension to protect the jaw, and Frazier tries it out for the first time, joining some of his teammates like David Freese, who's been wearing it since the get-go.
Yeah, you used to only see that after an injury
to
the face. Guys would wear something like that.
1-2 on him. 2-2.
And it looked like when Zimmerman faced the Pirates that first start, I mean, they didn't crush him. I mean, they knocked him around and scored some runs and did the job. 4 runs in 6 innings. But he had those 8 strikeouts in 6 innings, and I think you told me he had a stretch where he retired 9 or 10 in a row.
At 10 straight.
Yep. So, I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's been around. He's won 88 Major League games.
Josh Harrison there with Ivan Nova. Jay Hay on the disabled list.
And not
broken hand.
Not happy about it at all.
So in the meantime, Frazier and Sean Rodriguez have been playing second base, and here's the first out to begin the bottom of the first against Jordan Zimmerman. Easy out for Martin. And his wingers, Nicholas Castellanos in right, Jacoby Jones in left, Jamer Candelario, Jose Iglesias on the left side of the infield, Nico Goodrum and Miguel Cabrera. James McCann catches. And for Jacoby Jones, he's making his 9th start in left field. Had some time in the minor leagues earlier this season. But he's as good as it gets defensively. Al Kaline last year, the great Al Kaline, said that he was the best defensive outfielder they had in the system. Talking about Jacoby Jones.
Pretty good praise right there. Doesn't get much better.
No. The way he runs, throws, getting jumps on balls. As Gregory Polanco, whose average has dropped to 197 after his quick start. Really need to get him back on track. He was 4 for 12 in that opening series in Detroit, looking for his first RBI since the 12th of this month at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, if you ever wanted to pay attention and have somebody tell you that baseball is a game of streaks, both team-wise and individual-wise, you're getting some examples from the Pittsburgh Pirate team and Mr. Polanco.
Two and two on Polanco. And it's a really good thing when he does drive in a run this season, because the Pirates are 7-0 when he records an RBI. That tells you how important he is to this offense.
We'll hit one over the fence here. Let's
get
it started. Get on the board.
Zimmerman has given up 3. And that's now 3 and 2. And no stranger to the Pirates, this former Washington National. Jordan Zimmerman has faced the Pirates 5 times in his career. He's 1 and 3 with a .435 lifetime ERA against the Bucks.
Yeah, and he gave up 29 home runs last year. That's a noticeable number. But guys with a good control as he has, they have a tendency in many cases to give up the long ball. They're around the plate.
And a pop-up. to Jacoby Jones.
Some people would like to tell you that good control pitchers would rather give up a home run than walk somebody. I don't think it goes to that extreme, but they hate the walks.
He's 31 years old, from Auburndale, Wisconsin. He's still owed almost $74 million on that big contract he signed. 3 more years left on it, including this season. Starling Marte was 4 for 12 in that series in Detroit with a home run. But not a good matchup for Marte against Zimmerman. He's just 1 for 13 in his career against this right-hander. And there's that slider Steve talked about earlier, 0-2.
You got a good one. Big year for him in 2013 when he won 19.
That's really what he was able to parlay into the big contract. He's gone 18-20 since with the Tigers. A 2-time All-Star with the Nationals. Second-round pick of the Nats in 2007 out of little University of Wisconsin Stevens Point. And the third baseman, a little stumble, but Candelario is going to get the out at first base, and the Pirates go down in order. And after 1, misty PNC Park, it's 2-0 Detroit.
Bordis, Bordis and Bordis, fighting for justice. And by Day Automotive, we're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
UPMC scoreboard, 2-0 Tigers after 1 in game 1 of this true doubleheader. Jameson Taillon faced 6 men to start the game and gave up 3 hits, including a home run. Now James McCann, 7th in the order, and a 6-game hitting streak for him. Tigers catcher, 232 average. McCann will be followed by Jose Iglesias.
Didn't get a call there. Not as great as curveball in terms of location, but it could have been and should have been a strike.
Looked well within the zone. It's Ray Searage under the hood. Line to center. Marte. Bring up Jose Iglesias. And the Pirates begin a 3-game series at PNC Park against the Cardinals. National League Central Division Baseball returning Friday night. First 20,000 fans will get a Pirates umbrella thanks to Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's the Buccos and Cardinals Friday night, first of 3, 7:05. Go to pirates.com for tickets. Umbrellas. I guess you could probably have that giveaway about every game, couldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
A nice pitch there to shortstop Iglesias.
See if Jamison can find some rhythm here in the top of the second. Fastball. Then the 95, 96 mile an hour range of the fastball. We've seen him faster, but nothing wrong with the way he throws his fastball both ways, 2-seamer, 4-seamer.
Colin Moran on to Bell. 2 outs.
And that was the curveball again. That ball that Jacoby Jones hit was actually a pretty good looking curveball down at the bottom of the strike zone. Now, whether he was guessing or saw it coming, I don't know, but it wasn't all that bad. He got burned.
Now he faces Zimmerman, who spent some time again with the Nationals and is a career 170 hitter and 1 home run.
So he's not completely defenseless up there. Okay, we got the maybe a little hesitation, but they got the call.
Gets him, and that'll do it. Quick 1, 2, 3.
That's more like it.
2-zip Detroit.
Theme here the last couple days. I'm Robbie and Smikowski here at PNC Park. Well, if you think last night kind of has been the theme for the month of April, you're exactly right. As a matter of fact, last night set a record for Major League Baseball. It was the 28th postponement, and that set a record for the most games delayed by weather throughout the month of April. That has never happened before in Major League Baseball. In fact, the Commissioner's Office began keeping those records back in 1986. So that's the most since at least 1986. So that's what we're dealing with in terms of records. And it was also the 3rd time the Pirates and Tigers have had to reschedule a game this season, and that includes opening day. And get this, by comparison, Greg, when you look at this, back in 2016, there were not even 28 rainouts the entire season in Major League Baseball. And we've already had 28 here, and we haven't even gotten to May 1st yet. And this is going to be the 3rd of 4 doubleheaders that the Detroit Tigers play this season. They have another one coming up in June, guys.
Yeah,
How about
so
that?
far, yeah, so far, Robbie,
Mayday,
right?
Mayday.
Counting. They have a day-night doubleheader planned against the Yankees at Detroit in June. And this is the first, Robbie alluded to this, the first doubleheader at PNC Park since the Mets were in town in June of 2016.
Well, as a kid, I used to yearn for doubleheaders to watch and listen to, and it was always great when you knew you were going to get 2 major league games. I remember Cleveland Indians always played a home game against the Yankees in Municipal Stadium. There were like 75 or 80,000 people, that big barn up there, and that was just something, that was a gem in the middle of the season. The Yankees
That was your
Indians,
team.
yeah.
The
80,000.
Man. Yeah, this is old. What's interesting about, to Robbie's point about all these rainouts, Steve, the new collective bargaining agreement that kicked in this year in terms of the schedule created more off days for the players. But they're filling up these off days now with makeup games because of the inclement weather. It's crazy,
maybe it's almost great that they scheduled the off days, because you know, the weather is going to be the same whether you started March 29th or April 1st. April was going to be miserable, so the off days helped eliminate the possibility of doubleheaders in a way.
Here's Corey Dickerson stepping in against Jordan Zimmerman. AARP presents this take on Dickerson's career against Zimmerman. How about these numbers? 7 for 13, a .538 career batting average against Zimmerman. Dickerson was 1 for 10 in the opening series in Detroit. Zimmerman picked up his first win of the season in 4 starts against the Orioles. The Tigers coming off what was to be a long homestand in terms of games, but because they had 3 postponements against the Yankees, they only played 1. And then they went on to sweep the Orioles in a 3-game series, and they split a 4-game set against the Royals. And still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, picking up on what Robbie was talking about, most through the end of April since 1990, the 28 total games postponed, and 6 doubleheaders scheduled through April 28th. And again, Tigers scheduled to play 4 so far, at least through June the 4th. There's a line drive, and the hits keep on coming for Corey Dickerson against Jordan Zimmerman. Now 8 for 14 in his career against him.
Keeps on doing it. And good hitters like that location. Upstairs, just whack it, and he did. You were talking earlier about the control for Zimmerman. Greg, check out these numbers. 2014, he had 32 starts. He walked 29 people. Less than 1 a start. That'll get you a big contract, won't it?
Should say so. That was 13?
14.
14. That was the year after he went 19-9. Remember when the Nationals, it seemed as though they had to make it, and they did, determine whether to keep Zimmerman or Strasburg.
They went with the overall #1 pick. You know.
They kept Strasburg, and they let Zimmerman walk as a free agent. He signed a deal with the Tigers in November of 2015. Cervelli, a 2-0 count. And 3-0.
Rare for this man.
He's trying to get on for Colin Moran. We talked about the early theme this year as nice play by Goodrum.
Absolutely.
Total disregard for his health because he didn't know whether Leonis Martin was going to be barreling into him.
Yeah, and Martin made a bad initial move.
Went back several steps first. So another Pirate gets a green light on a 3-0 pitch.
Great play. Martin just completely misread it, and maybe Goodrum read the fact that Martin didn't get the read, and that's why he just kept on trucking.
There's a drive to right field. Colin Moran, don't you know? Ties it at 2. Woo. His second as a Bucko, and it's a 2-2 ball game.
There's your prototype no doubter. That ball left the bat and was going to be 2 runs for the Pittsburgh Pirates. His second of the year, number 4, given up by Jordan Zimmerman. And he got a lot of it. Back to square one.
Hitting well over 400 at PNC Park. Liking this yard and liking that short porch, the Clemente wall. And a great look. The swing of Colin Moran, who hit the grand slam opening day against the Twins in the first inning. Now Jordy Mercer. That's ripped. Jacoby Jones, a great job to hold Mercer to a single. There's what Al Kaline's talking about. And a strong throw to second. And turns out to be a 2-out single for Mercer, but he's got a 9-game hitting streak now at PNC Park.
Couple of really good at bats. I'll tell you, the swing by Moran, that was a great look from the side. That was a classic swing, and here's a classic swing as Jordy Mercer gets all of that, and Jones cuts it off because you've got a wet outfield. That ball is going to skip, and it did. It hits and doesn't really slow down all that fast, and he was able to cut it off. That's a really terrific play.
Jamison Tyone. Jacoby Jones cuts that off. It could be important, of course, rather than Mercer at second with 2 outs. A base hit could score him, even though Tyone not likely, especially now in the whole 0-2.
Remember in spring training, we were talking about what kind of production we're going to get out from the new guys, left field and third base. Third base, pretty good today.
Strike 3 called, couple of Ks for Zimmerman, but the 2-run shot for Colin the Redbeard. 2-2. by T-Mobile. There it is. Sweet swing, Colin Moran. That swing might just be built for PNC Park.
Absolutely.
That's what intrigued the Pirates so much about Moran.
It's pretty.
Going back to the time when he was actually first drafted, Pirates had interest in the nephew of B.J. Surhoff, longtime big leaguer. Colin Moran reportedly kind of rebuilt that swing in the minors with the Astros, and this ball driven deep, but it'll hook foul. Impressive drive by Leonis Martin. What is it with this guy?
I don't know. Ball's crushed.
Well, that is a high breaking ball. See how they pitch him now. Remember that 2-2 pitch after the long delay when he fouled that pitch off. They went, Tyle missed, and then a 3-2 pitch he hammered. That's more like it.
Yeah, the old Uncle Charlie. Let's show him a little something other than the fastball.
Way up out of the zone with that 96-mile-per-hour fastball, and got a piece of it.
Yeah, it's hard to catch up with that kind of good fastball after you see the slow curve. So that's it plays off the curveball a little bit better.
Tap to Frazier. First out in the third. A little string now of 5 straight set down since the Jacoby Jones double. Jamison faces Jamer. Other pitchers, there's the birthday boy Trevor Williams, the bearded one.
What did you say, 26?
Yep. Candelario credited with the double off Josh Bell's glove. Whoa. That'll wake everybody up.
Happy birthday. Somebody get you used to get that white towel and wave it at, hey, no, we surrender. No more firing at us.
David Freese. Figure Freese will play in the nightcap. It'll be interesting to see who Clint Hurdle puts in that lineup against a lefty. He hinted that Jose Osuna, who's the so-called 26th man, which you're allowed to call up an extra guy for the second game of a doubleheader. The Pirates call up Jose Osuna, who's been playing mainly third base, trying to learn that position at AAA Indianapolis. That Osuna, good chance he starts in right field in the nightcap. 1-2 on Candelario. Jamer Candelario, who drew 4 walks in the 3-game series in Detroit against Pirates pitching. Fouls off another. 6th pitch at bat so far for this New York City native. Came over from the Cubs July deadline deal last year for Alex Avila, the catcher, and pitcher Justin Wilson. And another hit to the right side of the infield.
So Candelario from New York City, almost a namesake, John Candelaria from New York City.
You can't help but think of John Candelario when you mention Jamer Candelario.
I got to say the Candy Man was a better basketball player.
Yeah, a little taller.
Yeah, and
6'1" is Jamer Candelario. Former Pirate John Candelaria, Brooklyn native.
Much taller than that, and a gifted schoolboy basketball player.
Here is Miggy. Tyon got him to fly out to right field in the first. sitting on 2,657 career hits. He's 31st on the all-time RBI list in Major League history with 1,627.
Boy, is that a really nicely placed fastball with some movement down and in, unhittable. If you take it, you're probably going to get a ball called. But boy, you love to see it when you get in under the bat where it's basically unhittable and they take a whack at it. Nothing they can do. And some heat, some little jump on that fastball. So down and in, and then really good heat out over the outer part of the plate. Pretty good 1-2 punch. Let's see where he goes now. He's got the advantage, 1-2. Cervelli's position might tell us a little something. Not giving much away yet. Back in. Yep.
Oh, almost got him.
Yep.
To offer.
That's a lot of speed on a moving fastball, the two-seamer. Now you got the option now. You've been in there, so is the hitters thinking you're going to go back outside, or do you stay in now? The cat and mouse game.
This guy at the plate is as good as it gets. So tough. 3-2.
Back outside.
Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah, because what's Cabrera thinking now? You know, he knows this is quality stuff, whether it's a breaking ball or a fastball. I'm thinking that Cabrera's going to guess breaking ball, or if not that, a pickoff attempt.
Might send Candelario to keep them out of a double play. Certainly Cabrera susceptible to that. He's twice led the league in grounding into double plays. He's already hit into 3 this season, less than a month. There goes the runner, and it's a base hit. Putting runners at first and third. Miguel Cabrera singles to left. Candelario winds up at third.
That's right in that zone where really good hitters, and Cabrera is exactly that. Usually gets his money's worth, and he did. Good solid contact, base hit, keeps it going for the Tigers.
Dave Clark, third base coach, with instructions for Candelario is Nicholas Castellanos, who bounced to Moran in the first inning. 5 hits for Detroit.
Again, a strike on a breaking ball that's up in the zone, playing with fire, but if they don't swing at it, they can't hurt you. Castellanos regarded as a viable strikeout candidate. Pretty good percentage of the early at-bats this season.
On a strike on Nicholas Castellanos. He played a lot of third base for the Tigers and now out in the outfield. A roster that has undergone almost wholesale changes. Off of Tyone, and that's going to produce a run, and they're not going to get an out.
Wow, and that ball was blistered.
3-2 Detroit.
He took a shot.
Ryan Housen, the head athletic trainer, going to check on Tyone. Back of the leg.
Yep, deflection comes right back, dies on the infield. That hurt, but no surprise, he's hanging in there. Yep, that right leg.
Well, 3-2 Tigers. First and second. RBI for Castellanos. And now Jacoby Jones, who doubled to drive in the second run.
And on top of everything else, it looks like we're getting into a scenario like we're playing this game in downtown London.
Yep.
A heavy day.
Line to right. Polanco gets the out there.
And that ball was hit right on the button. So Jamison not fooling enough people here early in this ball game. Held up enough for Gregory.
There's Nico Goodrum, struck out looking to end the first.
Now, Greg, this might be one of those starts, and Jamison's coming off a bad start, where you're just trying to keep it together. He is not who he needs to be right now, but we're just one run down, and you just don't let it get out of hand. And this is a perfect situation right here to get a big out. Just keep it together until you find something you can ride a little bit during the middle part of this ball game. If we get to that point.
Currently 3-2. Off we go. Beautiful downtown Pittsburgh. What time is what time is tea?
I would say shortly.
Got him. Cheerio.
Yeah, I'll go.
3-2. Tigers. The bottom of the third, top of the Pirates batting order.
There's a couple good fans right there. They're sturdy and solid. Here to see their Bucks and the ground crew at the ready in case this slides further away. These conditions are not too far away from delaying this game, to be quite honest.
Adam Frazier flied out to Leonis Martin in the first.
One of the things to consider in these kind of situations, see if you can get a lead, get past the 5th inning, then take your chances.
And a base hit for Frazier. Pirates had 3 hits off of Zimmerman in the second, after he retired the side in order in the first. A couple of fly balls from Frazier and Gregory Polanco, who comes up now.
That's what happens when you're scuffling a good bit. A good pitcher will start you off with a good off-speed pitch, a changeup. That opens up the whole at-bat for the pitcher. Gregory behind with an off-speed pitch. What comes next? That's what's going through his mind.
Chick-fil-A.
Well, spot the cow shouldn't be too tough today.
By the way, I know you want to thank John Wayner for working for you, so you could go to Puerto Rico last week, right?
Appreciate that, John. Yeah, it was a good, meaningful trip. It really was. The Clemente ceremony to commemorate a marker on the beach near where his plane went down. And,
Steve spoke along with the commissioner.
Yeah, and while I was speaking, the whole island went dark. Power went off on the whole island. I said, listen, I wasn't going to talk long, but the generators got it going back on. The commissioner was there. Eduardo Perez was the MC. A couple of Clemente Award winners were there, Bernie Williams and Carlos Delgado. The Clemente family was there.
Puerto Rican native Joey Cora
Yeah,
was not there, but certainly Steve talked to Joey about
I did today.
the ceremony today, and Joey touched by that.
I was glad I went. I appreciated the Pirates having me go down there, and thank you, John, for stepping in. The legacy never goes away. It just doesn't. And that's good.
And Polanco caught looking. Third K for Zimmerman. Well, again, last inning 3 hits and 2 runs, and this inning started with a base hit by Frazier, our Barrel Automotive League leaders in terms of team home batting averages in the National League. Braves and Cubs hitting .277. The Pirates third home batting average, .266. There's Jeff Branson, Pirates hitting coach.
Yep, unfortunately, the away batting average took a big hit 4 days in Pennsylvania or Philadelphia.
Clint Hurdle had an interesting take on this offense yesterday. He said we've had 14 really solid offensive showings. We had 5 where we should have done much more damage than we did, and 3 where we basically tipped our caps. For example, the Jake Arrieta game. Nobody was going to hit Arrieta that night. So he kind of broke down the 22 games to date, and you look at it that way. Well, even though the offense really seems to be struggling this past week, he's still confident in what the Pirates bats can do and will do.
And, you know, it is a game of streaks. You know, we were so hot coming out of the gate. You know that's not going to last. You know this is not going to last when they struggle. It's a season of streaks.
That's baseball.
It's baseball, yeah. And you can talk all around the details of it, but it's how hard you ride the good streaks and how quickly you get out of the bad ones. It's not much more complicated than that. Keep working. And if you're good enough, it'll happen for you. If you're good enough.
I would think that the Most encouraging thing of all to date, on a close pitch, you can see it was outside to Marte. The fact that in all but one game this season, Pirates starters have pitched at least 5 innings. And, you know, you want to go more than that, obviously, but it's not like their starters are getting beat up every night. And as the year has gone on,
yes,
it seems as though they are starting to stretch out a little bit more and more to the 6+ range.
Yeah. Early on, we were hoping, get that last out or the last 2 outs in the 5th so you can get into the 6th and then get through the 6th. So it's been better. And that's what Ray Searage was saying last homestand. He said it'll stretch out, and that has been the case.
Marte reaches, as you see, down for that pitch. Yet to see a strike in this at bat. He has reached base safely in 21 of the 22 games which he's played. Adam Frazier beginning this inning with that base hit. And again reaching out, and this time rolls it into right. And Frazier is going to head to third and make it. It was so softly hit, it died on that outfield grass and shallow right. First and third with 1 away.
That was a little soft serve there. Wow. Down and away. I mean, nowhere near the strike zone. Who we seen? We've seen Josh Harrison do a good bit of that sort of thing, but that was just a little. Oh, okay. I'll see if I can nub it out there, and he did.
Well, they kept going farther and farther away from the strike zone because Marte kept offering, and just off the very end of the bat. Well, now Bell at the infield looking for a double play ball.
Upstairs they want it, and they get it upstairs. Those are the kind of base hits, by the way, that will drive a pitcher crazy. When he throws that pitch, you don't even think a batter's going to take a swing at it all, let alone come up with a base hit out of that location. But it happens. Now we can answer. As long as we stay alert over at first base.
Marte wants to run. He has 7 steals in 9 tries.
It is kind of a wet track. Maybe that's good for traction. Who knows? You don't spin your wheels.
Bell struck out in the 2nd. Bell had the rare off day on Sunday in Philadelphia. It's going to be tough to double him up. And the game is tied as Bell picks up the RBI. On the broken bat bouncer to the left side. They almost turned it. Frazier scores. It's 3-all.
Doesn't have to be pretty, but we're back to square one. Found a way to get the run in. That's the priority number 1. You can do more than that, great. But the fact that the shortstop has to go over a little bit away from second base makes it a little longer to get the ball over to second for the pivot. He knows he's got to bust it to beat it, and he did.
Give him his 14th RBI of the season. And now they're going to challenge something, apparently, the Pirates. Is he safe at second? The Pirates thinking that they wouldn't have challenged it. He must come off the bag here. Oh, they may get a call.
Yeah.
Kevin Roach in that video room.
It's close.
Sees Goodrum come off the bag just now.
That is very close.
I think the Pirates get this call. right there, just off the bag ever so slightly. Is there enough evidence there to overturn it? Pirates challenging the out call at second. Marte, who was the base runner, studies it on the video board, and the umpires now talking to the umpiring crew in New York.
Puts on the bag right there, and then
Boy, I don't know.
It's close. It's so close.
All right, you're the ump. You're in New York, and I'm on the headsets. I'm Mike Winters. What do you got, Steve?
Safe.
Thank you. It didn't take long. It's in his glove now, but looks like his foot is off the bag. But are they seeing what we're seeing? Of course, we're not necessarily objective about it. Let's see what.
Yeah, it's got to be convincing.
Yep. Mike
it
Winters
is close.
And Rob Drake was the second base umpire who made the call over there, so he's on the headsets with the crew chief. What do we have? Safe. It is overturned. Well done, Kevin Roach.
Yep.
Man inside the video room makes those calls. It says, hey, to Tom Prince, the bench coach, go ahead and challenge. So now the error charge to the second baseman, Goodrum. And the fielder's choice RBI. As the challenge pays off. And now Corey Dickerson.
So the Pirates still very much in business. So it's close at second, close at first. All hands still on board.
So credit the Pirate hustle there. Bell, credit Marte for getting down that line, because when the base runner is headed towards you, Steve, the middle infielder wants to get rid of that ball quickly, even though those rules have changed to try and protect those middle infielders. Great coverage as always here at PNC Park. Wow, nice pickup there. A shot down the line.
What about the hair?
Yeah, I know you like that. Nice.
Great play.
Well done. Oh, did he offer? He did. On the pitch in, the dirt a little anxious. There's the second out of the third inning. Right after the Pirates challenged and that call overturned, that would have been the third out.
Still in business.
Cervelli on a 3-0 pitch, flied out to center.
Now what you need to do is catch a gap, because Cabrera is nowhere near paying any attention to Josh Bell over first base. You get a double, you're going to score 2.
Cervelli and the Pirates were in a similar situation against Zimmerman opening day in Detroit, with a couple of men on base and 2 outs in the 4th inning. And the Pirates trailing 2-1. Cervelli doubled over Leonis Martin's head, scoring 2 runs to give the Pirates the lead.
You get an idea how much room that Josh Bell has at first base, with Cabrera way off the bag and way in back of him. Basically getting a lead a quarter of the way to second base. Time the pitch is gone.
Take a look at our Lowe's whole team together. Pirates have been great with runners in scoring position so far this season. 4th in the National League at .281 team average. And the leaders among the Pirates include Francisco Cervelli. Marte in scoring position. 2-1 count on the Pirates catcher. He and Elias Diaz have done an outstanding job last couple of weeks. Overall, Pirates catchers, the tandem of Cervelli and Diaz, batting .409 over the last 13 games, driving in 12. Lays off, and he's in another favorable count, as he was last inning.
With Colin Moran in the on-deck circle, who just happened to hit a home run last time up.
Cervelli figures to see a good pitch from Jordan Zimmerman. And drives it deep to left field. And how about it? Vita Bella, a no-doubter, crushes it. 3-run bomb. Francisco Cervelli gives the Bucs a 6-3 lead in the third with his third.
He had the count that he wanted, he got the pitch that he wanted, and he got the distance he wanted. Pirates break it open. And they knock the fog right out of this ballpark.
Cervelli with his third home run, and now with 15 runs batted in.
Boy, right center cut a little bit in where he could pull the ball, and all Jacoby Jones could do was watch it. This ball had plenty of distance off the bat.
The 3-0 pitch he just missed as he flied out to center. This 3-1 pitch did not miss. Toward the rotunda in left. An impressive blast by the Pirates catcher. Another look as Cervelli looks.
Yeah, he knows it.
466 feet.
466.
Ball left the bat at 106 miles an hour. 466. So the error turns out to be very costly. The Dickerson strikeout would have been the third out, but the Pirates challenged, the call overturned, and Goodrum, the second baseman, charged with the miscue. Another look. Way up there.
466.
And Moran draws the walk, which means Jordy Mercer becomes the 8th man to hit in the inning.
A little disconcerting when you have good control, but you give up that bomb with 2 outs, chance to escape major damage. It doesn't happen for Jordan Zimmerman. Gives up the potato.
Jordy Mercer. I'm with you, Steve. I don't think that's 466. That's what the StatCast had initially, but
didn't it hit under the rotunda?
Well, yeah, it looked like it.
Yeah.
I think it looked like it hit just below.
Yeah, I'm
first
saying
rung.
where that guy, that
right past
tan,
the yellow.
Yeah, that tan or gray thing in the background there.
Still a long way.
Yeah,
Because you don't see too many balls hit that far to the left.
3 runs.
And Martin will make the catch. Well played. Francisco Cervelli, number 3. 3-run shot. Pirates lead 6-3.
Toyota, what drives you?
Francisco Cervelli. Here's the Pirates, this 3-run lead. Jordan Zimmerman giving up that 3-run homer, and the Pirates now lead it 6-3. James McCann, the Tigers catcher, trying to play through this mist.
Yeah, it's back. Cervelli knocked the fog out of here, but now it's back. There's nothing settled. This could be one of those crazy games with the weather and the offense now, and pitching is a little scratchy. Stay tuned.
To left, Dickerson back toward the wall and gone. James McCann with his second home run. And it's 6-4. What were you saying, Steve?
Yeah, stay tuned. Nothing settled yet. This could be a wild thing. And a struggling day for Jamison Tyone, but he can keep it together. You know, he can win ugly as well as pretty. And there is a following wind that got this over the wall. I mean, he hit it good. It was going to go quite a ways, but it just kept going and going because Dickerson felt like he had a play on it early.
Yeah, you're right. That wind is really starting to almost gust out there. Say Iglesias not pleased with Mike Winters.
Yeah, you got Miggy and Iggy here. Well, you usually look forward to the bottom third of the batting order, but it's not starting out this way in the fourth.
Wow. Another hit on an 0-2 pitch.
Yeah, it's official. Jamison is out of sorts here with his pitching this afternoon. They're hoping to keep it together to some degree, but they're going to get activity in the bullpen. We're going to the phone.
Victor Reyes is going to pinch hit for Zimmerman. Reyes a switch hitter. So we will see the new pitcher, Rorik Sopald, coming to the mound in the bottom half of this fourth inning.
That was right on by him.
Moran, that had a little English on it. Moran gets that out at second. Let's go back to Rob King into the studios for a game break.
Center fielder, Leonis Martin.
First home run of the season out to left field. A long one puts the Astros up 4-0. Seventh inning, Albert Pujols is now 6 hits away from 3,000 with the home run here. The Astros do go on to win, though, Greg and Steve, by the final of 5.
All right, Rob, thanks. There are a handful of afternoon games today. The Nationals pounding the Giants 8-1. Former Tiger Max Scherzer leading that one for Washington. In San Francisco. Cervelli could not get the handle initially. It's going to be a bunt hit for Martin. If he grabs it cleanly, he's got a shot.
Yeah, I think he gets them easily because the ball didn't get that far out onto the grass, but the grass is wet. There's the grab and there's the miss. I guess that Astros Angels thing was the big and the small of it. Altuve and Pujols.
Verlander got the win. Go to 4-0. 2 on for Jeimer Candelario. He's 2 for 2. Candelario doubled past Josh Bell in the first, singled between Bell and Frazier his last time up. Really trying to pinch that right side of the infield. Not much room at all now between Bell and Frazier. Close the right side of the infield. Frazier and Bell as Kyle Crick loosens for the Pirates.
Yeah, when you get to a 10-run total and you're still just in the top of the fourth, it's got a chance to be a busy day out in those bullpens.
Well, they're taking some aggressive hacks here against Taillon. They're looking comfortable in that box.
You don't see him getting knocked around like this.
And now a little bit of a slip there off the mound. 2-2.
The start against the Phillies, was he more wild, or was he getting hit like this, Greg?
His command was not what it should be. He was getting hit, and he was not. I think he walked. I think a couple guys hit a guy, and it is hit to the right side of the infield. Frazier, nice spin to get the out there. They won't get the double play. Quick spin by Frazier to get the middleman, Martin, for the second out.
Yep, that was a little awkward, a little too awkward. It was nothing he did wrong. It was just one of those plays where he's got to come in, he's got to make a turn and throw it back away from all the action, and then the return doesn't get there in time.
Now Taillon has to face Miguel Cabrera with runners at first and third and 2 outs.
And talk about a challenge.
Pitch got the call.
Went away from the fastball. First delivery of the bat.
Cabrera turned 35 years old on Wednesday. Again, sitting on 1,627 runs batted in. Oh, 2 on Miguel Cabrera. His 11th season with the Tigers, the 2-time MVP, 11-time All-Star, and a Triple Crown winner in 2012. One of the great baseball feats. Had not been done since 1967 in the American League.
Mr. Yaz.
Yep. Taillon tries to get him. Cabrera. Hasn't been done in the National League since 1937. Ducky Medwick. Hit hard to right. And Polanco watches it hit off the wall and goes hard past him. This is going to score 2 as Miguel Cabrera, with that swing, ties the game.
And another ball just absolutely crushed.
6-6. A 2-run double off the wall. Man, that's opposite field ripped.
Yep, didn't know if that was going to stay in the ballpark. And of course, the Tigers get the huge bounce off some hard surface and gives everybody plenty of time to get around the bases.
Another early exit for Tyone. Kyle Crick will be coming on.
By Barrel Automotive. With express service, you're in and out in no time. Visit barrelservice.com to find a location near you. And by Allegheny Health Network, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates and fans like you. Let's go Bucks!
First pitch swinging, Kyle Crick gives up this home run to Nicholas Castellanos. A 2-run shot, and the Tigers have the lead. It's 8-6. Castellanos with his second home run of the season, the third of the day for the Tigers.
Wow.
How do you do?
Didn't see this coming. Did not see this coming.
Looked like he thought it was coming. Castellanos, that breaking ball.
Crick was squeaky clean coming into that pitch. Had done nothing wrong, but serves up the home run. And the Tigers, who we said have been hot with the bats, continue, and it doesn't stop.
They are up there just, I mean, we talk about feeling comfortable. They are digging into the box and taking their whacks.
So that's completing the line for Jamison. 3 2/3, 7 earned.
Jacoby Jones, 3 strong at bats, 2 for 3. Tyone back in the dugout.
Good to keep track of him because, you know, you got Pirate pitching back on their heels right now, and you would think that somebody on first base would say, hey, they got priorities at home plate rather than me at first, so it doesn't go there. Not a day for pitching.
Kyle Crick came over from the Giants in the McCutchen deal and was was optioned out of spring training down to AAA Indy, recalled on the 13th of this month.
And Greg, even that swing and a miss was just right from the heels.
Yeah.
It's open throttle right now.
So both starters out of the game.
And 2 starters that you would think you give them this kind of offense, that's an automatic W.
Runner goes, got a great jump, but it won't matter as Crick hits the strikeout of Goodrum, but 9 to the plate for the Tigers. They erupt and they take an 8-6 lead. Started the top of this 4th inning with the home run, and Nick Castellanos hit the home run off Crick. Francisco Cervelli trying to console the starter, Jamison Tyone. Ulrich Suppold is the new pitcher, and the batter for Crick is Max Moroff.
Suppold in to work for the Tigers. He does a little bit of everything. He's been a starter, he's been a reliever, started one of their doubleheader games. They've had a bunch of them, and also has done some good work out of the bullpen. Nice looking breaking ball there. Gets the correct call.
Kyle Crick gives up the home run and then a strikeout after the Jacoby Jones single. Moroff chops it to the right side. So Max Moroff, the switch hitter, bounces to Nico Goodrum as a pinch hitter for Kyle Crick. And back to the top of the order, and Adam Frazier.
Don't go away. This one's not over. This is not going to end 8-6.
Mark it.
Mark it.
As our buddy Mark Bombard used to say.
Mark it.
Mark it.
Yep. Bombi.
And Richard Rodriguez going to be coming on. Pirates have an 8-man bullpen.
Well, Ron Gardenhire looking to get an extended outing from Suppold, because that's his history, and we'll see what Clint Hurdle has in mind.
Pirates saw Suppold in 2 of the 3 games in the opening series in Detroit, and he pitched 2 scoreless innings. Taking on the 3-0. Frazier facing the Australian native, Ork Sophold, and it's a fly ball to Jacoby Jones. 2 outs. Frazier singled and scored last inning. Pirates taking that 6-3 lead, and the Tigers score 5 in the top of this 4th. 6'2", 223 pounds, Ork Sophold from Redcliffe, Australia. And that's off the end of the bat, and a foul ball. Game 1 of a true doubleheader. Chad Kuhl starts for the Pirates in the nightcap against lefty Matthew Boyd, and with that left-hander due to pitch, Clint Hurdle hinted that Jose Osuna would play right field in the second game. Two and one on Polanco. Again, looking to get that bat going. One for his last 11. Marte had the ground single to right field his last time up and scored. And there we go. On the 3-1 pitch, Polanco has a 2-out single.
Well, on a day where everybody's hitting, Gregory Polanco joins the parade.
This series will conclude tomorrow afternoon, a matinee game. Then the Cardinals are in for 3, and Sunday's a kids' day. 1:35 start against the Redbirds. Come early for the Family Fun Zone out on Federal Street, and after the game, kids can run the bases. Plus, all kids 14 and under this coming Sunday will receive a kids mini bat thanks to Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield together with Allegheny Health Network. We invite you to go to pirates.com/kidsday for tickets. Cardinals will take on the Mets in St. Louis tonight. The Mets came back to beat the Redbirds last night in 10 innings, 6-5. One and one. Sophold his second full season in the big leagues. The Tigers working with a more traditional, I guess these days, you'd call it a 7-man bullpen. I know back in your day, Steve, it was, what, 6 at the most, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, most teams, like the Pirates, carrying 8 relievers. That's the trend.
Yeah, that's, do the math. 8 and 5 is 13, leaves you 12 players. You're playing 8 of them every night, 4 guys off the bench.
Maybe it makes a little more sense in the American League. With the DH, you don't use position players all that often, so I think it would behoove American League clubs to go with an extra arm. 2 and 2, and 2 right-handers throwing. Edgar Santana now joins Richard Rodriguez. Oh my goodness. Marte swung at that pitch so far in front of the plate it wasn't close to being a strike.
That is,
wow.
Is that guessing?
8-6. In front of the dirt circle.
I thought he had a chance to hit it on the bounce. This is incredible. Is that starting early? You know, we thought he started early when he got that little base hit, but
Look
this
at
is
that ball
crazy.
hit.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
Wow. We're seeing some things this afternoon so far that are a little bizarre. Starting with the first batter of the game.
Richard Rodriguez.
Has not walked a batter. Had a couple outings in Philadelphia. One was very good. 4 strikeouts in 2 2/3 innings, and then gave up the winning run in the extra inning game that the Phillies won in their 4-game sweep.
And this is hammered. Off the wall. McCann gets into second with a double.
Big part of the ballpark. He almost gets it out of here as that ball is right in that hitting zone. I mean, that's center cut. And a major league hitter does what he should with it. He doesn't run very well at all, and this is how close that ball comes, just a couple feet underneath. Make it interesting at second base, but he's in with a double, and they keep on getting their money's worth.
Rodriguez was signed by the Pirates as a minor league free agent. Invited to spring training. Started the year at AAA Indianapolis. McCann 2 for 3, plus a line out to center. So he's had 3 solid at-bats.
13 hits overall, and not many of them cheap, if any, for the Tigers.
Iglesias singled to left on an 0-2 pitch from Jameson Taillon last inning. The 28-year-old Cuban defector who was originally signed by the Red Sox. That was kind of what we saw of Rodriguez's first couple outings, the high fastball, which seems to be in vogue among a lot of major league pitchers these days, trying to counter the launch angle approach by the hitters.
Yeah, I don't know, but throwing 92-mile-an-hour fastballs upstairs to me never made a lot of sense. But maybe the approach has changed. Obviously, it has. Most of the guys that threw high fastballs back in the day threw it a lot harder than 92 miles an hour. But if it's working, go for it.
Out of the zone, slaps it foul. That's hit pretty hard to right. Polanco gets there. Nice looking play by Polanco to get the out, but McCann moves up 90 feet. And now Rodriguez has an opportunity to get a big second out, facing a man who's never had an at-bat in the big leagues.
Gregory goes over. That ball's trying to run away from him, and he stays with it. And makes a play on another ball that was hard hit. Yep, this is where you got to bury this hitter. I mean, you just got to put him away and have a chance to get out of this. There's step number one.
He has never had a professional at bat. Became a professional baseball player in 2010. The Australian Baseball League, playing for Perth.
Now we'll turn around. He's going to be an out back. He's going to be back in the dugout, back where he belongs with the bat.
There we go.
Dispatch.
Yeah. Pass along a belated birthday wish yesterday. Ruth Kratzis turned 100.
What?
Yep. She's been an avid baseball fan her whole life. Grew up in Oakland near Forbes Field. And watches all the games, listens to as many games as she possibly can. So happy birthday wish to Ruth Kratzis.
Yes,
turned
indeed.
100 yesterday. Pirates will celebrate the great Phil Coyne's 100th coming up on Friday. Big pregame ceremony for a longtime usher who retired this year.
Look forward to that.
Martin pops it up. And just out of room.
You thought that one would stay with that breeze blowing straight out to center field, but just had a little bit too much spin on it.
Again, that was that high fastball by Rodriguez. And take a look at the breeze.
It's
blowing out.
Helped a couple balls that have been hit out in that direction.
Rodriguez had 5 big league appearances with the Baltimore Orioles last year. First taste of the big leagues. He was originally signed as a non-drafted free agent by the Astros 8 years ago. Hard shot on a breaking ball from Rodriguez. Nice play, young man.
That's a pick right there.
And he's a Tiger and a Pirate fan.
He's got it covered.
With the Miguel Cabrera jersey and the Pirates cap. Oh, nice play. That was a hard shot.
That is.
Man, look at him. Look at him. He's a, give me that thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he got it.
Yeah. What a play. And there's that high fastball, and he gets Martin to chase. So he gives up the leadoff double. Tigers lead it. One of the better plays of the game right there. 2012 Pirates and Rockies become the first teams in Major League history to add a 26th man to their rosters. Under the new collective bargaining agreement, teams permitted to do that. For doubleheaders, the Pirates call up Jared Hughes. He pitches the 9th in Game 1, becomes the first 26th man to participate in a game. Pirates lost Game 1 2-1, but they're victorious in Game 2 5-1. Now we understand that the 26th man can be used in the second game of the doubleheader today.
Mr. Osuna.
Jose Osuna, good chance he starts in right field, and the Tigers call up Artie Lewicki, a right-handed pitcher. Bell, Dickerson, Cervelli, with Pittsburgh down 2.
Which doesn't particularly mean anything today.
Easy for Cabrera.
Left fielder, Corey Dickerson.
Well, now Corey Dickerson, who singled and was aboard when Colin Moran homered in the second. He was 1 for 2 against Zimmerman. 8 for 15 against the Tiger starter, but now he faces this right-hander from Australia.
Who is back out on the mound, out back there.
Uh-huh.
Can't help it.
Suppold gave up 1 hit in his 2 innings of work in Detroit to start the season. 2 separate games, and that was a hit off David Freese.
Do you ever wonder why or how batting gloves get so loose after every swing? You wonder about that?
So they didn't do that back in your day, huh?
No, they must have just had better batting gloves. Or
better Velcro?
Yeah. I mean, it's a violent thing to swing a bat, but you know that's pretty. That Velcro is pretty good stuff.
And you see, they set up for that high heat again, and Dickerson chased, but fouls it away. James McCann was actually standing up almost to get that pitch up and out of the zone. So he goes up, and now down under.
You were waiting for that.
Well,
one.
no,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Yes, you were.
You started
were
it.
Waiting. Yeah,
I wouldn't have done it. Either way,
he's out back there looking
this.
in.
Oh yeah, you did it again.
Yeah,
you can't help yourself.
No, I can't. Okay.
Not once, but twice.
3.
3-2. Wanted to ask you about, we were talking about this day in Pirates history, and it was on this day that you beat with the Montreal Expos at Forbes Field, 1969. But there was a story the next day in the Post-Gazette about how, yeah, you pitched well, but it was your bat that really did in the Expos.
You're giving me the surprise expression in your voice.
You're darn right I am.
Well, you know, it's hazy, but I think I went 2 for 4 with a triple.
Okay, and let me read part of the story about the triple. Carl Morton was pitching for the Expos. Got 2.
One of the toughest in the league.
No, he wasn't. He got 2 straight strikes on Blass, who then went into his 2-strike crouch and banged his 3-bagger over Mac Jones's head and left. And now it's 3-2 on Dickerson. Blass turned on his speed and appeared to do a 2-step between second and third, before sliding headfirst into the bag amid wild cheers from his growing group of admirers.
What can I say?
Sickening.
They're only human.
Look, a little slap shot there by Dickerson. Good battle. And he beats Sopald with that base hit to left.
Well, Greg, it's not the two-step, it's the extra base gallop is what that was known as.
Yeah, sure.
Nice job. The ball's down and away, so that's the direction you hit it.
Well, Steve Blass-like with that hit.
Well, my ball actually went over the head of the left fielder, not short of the left fielder like that ball.
See that two-strike approach there, choking way up.
It's the way to go.
9-pitch at bat for him, and now Cervelli, who cracked his 3rd home run of the season in the 3rd inning, a 3-run blast.
Picked up RBIs, what, 13, 14, 15?
Mm-hmm. Well, that'll get Dickerson into scoring position. The wild pitch.
That's about the only thing we haven't seen so far today, wasn't it? The WP, the wild pitch?
Yep, that's about it. No
We've
pass
seen
ball,
we've seen
obviously.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah. That is obviously a WP in your
Yep.
scorecard.
Yep, when it bounces in front of home plate.
So 1 ball, 1 strike.
Is that English? The ball's trying to spin back to fair. You know, you get the idea. If you didn't look at the scoreboard, you've been listening to everything, and you don't know the numbers, you've seen that the Pirates are just getting beat up and crushed. But they're 2 runs down in a wild game. Get a base hit here, get within 1 run, and rock and roll. I mean, it's the bottom of the 5th inning
of game 1.
That's all. A lot of baseball. Look like they're here for the duration.
Cervelli, count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. The block there by McCann keeps Dickerson at 2nd. That's important, of course, with 1 out. Cervelli, as Steve said, now 15 runs batted in. Of course, injuries slowed his season considerably last year. Stephen Brault looks like he wants to convince Clint Hurdle that he should be the next pinch hitter.
And I like that move by Brault, because even if there's a consideration, you pick up the bat, you walk back and forth in front of the manager or back up, make sure you're still in his mind or his vision as a starting pitcher. You want to get in there. You want to get that pinch hitting experience down.
The way he's reacting is a good chance he's been told that if it gets to the 9th spot this inning, he will be.
Yep.
And up the middle, and there is Francisco Cervelli. And they're going to wave home the runner Dickerson. And he is in there. And the Pirates within 1. It's a 4 RBI game for Francisco Cervelli. 8-7.
Yep. And if it gets down to Brault, the Pirates will be in pretty good shape. If it gets down to the number 9 spot, rather.
A 4 RBI game for Cervelli. And 16 RBIs. We're saying that injury slowed his season last year. Played only 81 games. Had 31 RBIs all season. 31. And he has 16 at this moment.
Yeah, Joey Cora waving the runner Dickerson around, and a good throw would have been very interesting in home plate, but it was not a good throw, and the Pirates are that close now.
Chris Basio. It looked as though, Steve, that Dickerson did a nice job running the bases there. He looked like he cut that bag well, didn't he?
It didn't
go real wide.
Yep, cut it sharp. And a lot of guys go way out wide, and it's a circular, kind of a big round there, but you can make sharp turns.
And we've said this before about Dickerson. He knows he's not real fast, knows he's not the greatest outfielder in the world, but he said, I will outwork those shortcomings, if you will. He said, I'm going to make myself as good a defensive player as I can, base runner as I can. And you can see he works on a lot of aspects, all aspects of his game.
Well, if you're not entirely gifted at any aspect, you can make a lot of progress when you max out what you have. And many times you'll surprise yourself that you're capable of doing a little bit more than people think you're capable of doing.
He talked a few days ago about how, you know, a lot of players just kind of take batting practice for granted. They just go up there, they take their swings. But he said when he's out in the outfield, he's practicing when he's shagging, not just casually conversing. So he learned that from Kevin Kiermaier, one of the better defensive center fielders in all of baseball with Tampa Bay, how seriously Kiermaier took it. And then, you know, when you're taking BP, when you run the bases, take it seriously. And I know John Wayner has talked about that
well, yeah,
for the
work
longest
on your
time.
Leads and breaks and stuff off the bat, off the contact.
And it just doesn't happen much anymore in baseball.
It's not all that common.
Well, now it's 2-1 on Moran. 2-run homer in the second, walked in the third. And that's going to get through. And Cervelli knows it's slowly hit, so he winds up at third.
Dig your heels in. It's just the bottom of the fifth. We got a barn burner.
Yeah, you like offense. This is the game for you. Moran on base for a third straight time.
And this was hit beautifully. Not hard enough to get to the right fielder, quick enough to hold up Cervelli at second base. The direction was great, and the pace was great. Francisco, he's looking, the quick look, the second look.
That's a good read there, talking about running the bases.
Yep.
Knowing where the right fielder is, knowing how hard the ball was hit.
Yep. Sometimes that second look can be at the third base coach, or you can take it yourself, as he did there.
Infield at double play depth for Mercer, who's 1 for 2. And it's David Freese on deck, by the way. Maybe Brault was trying to convince Clint Hurdle all along. Hope it gets to Freese with just 1 out. But even a fly ball with any depth should tie this game. Three straight singles for the Pirates after Josh Bell began the inning with a ground out to first. Corey Dickerson scoring the run. Edgar Santana likely to be the new pitcher.
It gets down to an interesting game of baseball now between the respective managers, Gardenhire and Hurdle, how they handle the limited amount of extra men, how they work the bullpens, hoping to push through all the right buttons.
Well, and Ron Gardenhire is really pushing Sopal because, you know, this is his 6th outing. 19 pitches thrown April the 2nd, the most so far this season. There you see he's approaching 50. And just now they get somebody up in their bullpen. Good check. Well done by Jordy Mercer to lay off.
Yep. Tough take.
Chris Siegel complies with Mike Winters.
Yeah, you got that man sitting on the corner or a doorstep at third base. You want to get him in, and oh boy, so close to crossing the line. But a good take. See if you can make some hay out of it.
Spoils that, although it was still out of the zone, but at this point Mercer can't afford to take any chances.
Hard to take, yep. You don't want to be rung up with a call third strike.
Daniel Stump throwing in earnest now, as Sopal probably getting close to running out of gas. A little broken bat pop up, and it's caught in a nice play by Goodrum again.
Yep,
the second time
yep.
today that Goodrum, with a total disregard for his health, goes out there. Iglesias.
This looks like it's going to drop in as he doesn't quit on the play. Boy, that's easy to peel off there. Get that shortstop in his sight, and he's feeling how close he is. That's a terrific play.
It's up to David Freese with 2 outs to try and get that tying run home.
Suppo might have bought himself one more batter.
Just foul, and Cervelli dances out of the way.
He was almost forced to go back into fair territory.
Yes.
This ball is ripped.
Which is interesting, because you get hit in fair territory, you're out.
That's right. If he stays in foul territory, he might be dead.
Yeah.
I'll take the out, but up to me.
1 ball, 1 strike on the pinch hitter, David Freese. Pirates figured, and it's still so early, they do believe that the bench will be a plus this season. But early on, Pirates weren't getting great results off the bench. 2 for 21 from pinch hitters.
Pitch number 53 coming up for Sepulveda.
Josh Harrison on the bench, but on the DL.
Wishing he was in there. Any position player would wish they were in there today. 15 runs, 23 hits so far. We're just barely past the halfway
we're just
mark.
getting started.
Yeah.
Freese pokes it foul. Freese over 6 as a pinch hitter. It's a lot of pitches. And his season high to this point was 19. Lays off. Fastball 2-2. Ron Gardenhire, first year as the Tigers skipper, almost offered.
Close
3-2.
Yep. Here we go.
Just looking back, the most pitches he has thrown since June 4th, 55 pitch outing last year. And a nice job by Freese. This will load them up, and you can't imagine that Gardenhire won't go to the lefty now with Adam Frazier coming to the plate. And here comes Gardenhire. So he got all he could out of him and then some, right?
Did he ever?
And Gardenhire replaced Brad Ausmus as the manager of the Detroit Tigers. And with the bases loaded, Frazier will face the lefty. Branson going over a scouting report for the lefty he's about to face with the bases loaded and the Pirates down by a run in this wild game one of the doubleheader. Daniel Stumpf.
Yep, he has worked 7 innings. He's walked 3. He's walking into a bases loaded situation.
Daniel Stumpf faced 3 Pirates batters on opening day this season. Did not face Frazier, but did give up an RBI double to left-hand hitting Gregory Polanco, and Frazier has been tough against lefties. Ball 1.
Yeah, we've seen him go so many times with that breaking ball to the opposite field effectively.
Tough pitch there from Stumpf.
You see what he does. A lot of lefties like to do that against left-hand batters. Just work that outside part of the plate with a sweeping breaking ball or a fastball cutter.
And now Frazier really has to battle here.
He's working him outside. We should take a look at the 3 runners for the Pirates.
Cervelli drove in a run. He's at third. Colin Moran singled. He's at second. And along at bat for Freese, he walked.
They're going to try to stay away.
Oh,
Tough take again. Tough take.
Two and two. The base is loaded. Pirates have scored 1. Trail by 1 in the 5th. Ground ball to Cabrera. And the Pirates will leave them loaded. But they do score 1. And trail 8-7.
Starting pitcher Joe Musgrove, who today threw a sim game, and he is the subject of this afternoon's Allegheny Health Network injury update. He was able to get 2 innings in his sim game. He threw approximately 37-38 pitches, faced 2 batters, Elias Diaz and Max Marov, who is in the batter's box against him right there. He reported everything felt okay when he came back. His next step is immediately to see how he responds for the next 2 days. And you think the next step at some point in line down the road, Greg and Steve, is he's going to go out on a rehab assignment at some point in time to build up his endurance, and hopefully sooner rather than later he can make a return, or at least his debut, in a Pirates uniform for the 2017 World Series champion member of the Houston Astros. So Joe Musgrove reported feeling well immediately after that start. He's been out with a right shoulder strain since spring training.
It'll be interesting to see, Robbie, what the Pirates do. If he does feel good in the next couple days, does he do one more sim game before reporting to a minor league affiliate.
It's got to be awfully frustrating coming off that championship year and not being able to pitch.
Edgar Santana is pitching for the Pirates to the 2, 3, 4 men in the order.
Felt like the Pirates scored 16 runs in the bottom of the 5th, but they came around with just 1 run. A lot of opportunity.
Had 3 hits and a walk and scored 1.
Santana coming out to keep it a 1-run ball game.
The rookie makes his 10th appearance. And no easy task here, as Jeimer Candelario has 2 hits, so too does Miguel Cabrera and Nicholas Castellanos. And that's driven deep to right, and they get the run right back with another home run. Jeimer Candelario's 4th home run of the season. It's the 4th of the day for the Tigers.
First batter that Tyone faced hit a home run. First batter that Crick faced hit a home run. And now Santana joins the list. Right there. Sweet spot for lefties. Goes down, gets under, hits the bottom half, and sends it.
First homer that Santana has given up this season, and the 2-run lead is back for the Tigers.
What a day for Candelario.
He has scored 4 runs. He has 3 hits, and he's a triple shy of the cycle.
And we're just in the 6th.
Jeimer Candelario. Traded over from the Cubs last season.
There's that good slider from Santana. His signature pitch.
Gets Miguel Cabrera with a dandy.
That's some quality stuff right there.
A little bounce back for him after giving up the home run. Strikes out Cabrera.
A little off speed. I don't know whether he was trying to cut that ball and it didn't, but anyway, it's in a beautiful spot. It's on the other side of one of the best.
Now Castellanos. First pitch from Crick. He homered. And an RBI hit right off of Jamison Tyone's leg in the 3rd inning. He is 2 for 3. 2 RBIs.
You can't put a 95-mile-an-hour fastball in a better spot than that. It's out in front of him, too.
Hurdle and Tom Prince, bench coach. Close. 1-2 count on Castellanos. Nicholas Castellanos drove in 101 runs last year, career high for him. And he has another hit, his 3rd.
These look like the Tigers that we're used to seeing with the bats that we didn't see opening this season, but they're doing it this afternoon.
Visit PNC Park. Zambelli Fireworks Night comes up, the middle game of the 3-game series against the Cardinals on Saturday night, 7:05 first pitch. And you can watch the National League rivals face off. And stick around for the post-game Zambelli Fireworks Show presented by 93.7 The Fan. Go to pirates.com/fireworks for tickets. Day for some hot chocolate again.
Haven't either one of these teams ever heard of a double play?
Oh, you know. This is Sangi told you, didn't he?
Oh, you throw a double play. I can call Sears and order a double play.
We gotta maybe say Best Buy or something. You know, update it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. My growing up days with the Sears catalog. The Wish Book.
But true story, though, right? That's a true story.
Oh yeah, he came out.
Your catcher came out and
said, "Oh, you throw double play."
You throw double play.
That was his second most famous. The first one when he came out and said, "Oh, you know," and then went back.
You don't know.
I don't. Well, what did I know? I didn't.
Wow. So every other batter so far that's been good for Santana. Home run, strikeout, made Cabrera look a little silly. And Castellanos and Jacoby Jones after the Castellanos single. Nico Goodrum has struck out 3 times, twice against Tyone, last time up against Crick.
But he's got 2 saves for his glove this afternoon.
That's so true, and that is the absolute great thing about the game of baseball is that you can look at a box score and see a guy striking out 3 times and figure, oh man, he's had an awful day. But how grateful are the Tigers that he made 2 catches in shallow center field. He did turn out to commit an error at second, which was costly. And the Pirates challenged whether he had stayed on second base on an attempted double play turn.
Yeah, that's the other side. That's the other side of the coin.
0-2, back to the slider, maybe. He's feeling good about it. Oh man, nasty heat.
That's the kind of live arm he has.
Yeah, movement. Leadoff home run for Candelario. 9-7 Tigers. Pirates games.
Let's go Bucks.
Yep.
It's a good day for 2, says Ernie Banks.
Let's play 2, says Terry. And those folks tweeting, you can too. Hashtag Bucks Booth. Candelario, the home run. Long balls in game 1. 4 for the Tigers, 2 for the Pirates. As Gregory Polanco leads off against the lefty, Stumpf.
Good at bat last time up for Gregory. Good on the hit parade.
Not a bad idea, but probably didn't have to even kind of run out of the box. He could have squared with the third baseman off the line and back a bit.
Yeah, you can basically put down a sacrifice bunt. The problem is with those things, you never forgive yourself if you bunt the ball back to the pitcher. That's what I think is in front of a lot of these guys that won't do it.
You know, Steve, for the last, up until maybe 5 years ago, for a good, maybe close to 3-decade period, there was always one guy who could almost automatically bunt for a hit. I think of Brett Butler, the Dodger, the Indian, Brave, and Juan Pierre.
Yeah.
What about when you played? Was there a guy that you could count on to? Even Billy Hamilton doesn't bunt almost as much. He's not as proficient as you think he would be, the speedster for the Reds.
And all he's got to do is put the ball in the grass.
It is really a lost art. And now, all of a sudden, Stump got in front of Polanco 0-2. It's gone to 3-2.
Even the guys like, I never remember Maury Wills bunting all that much. The guys that had the speed.
Omar Moreno, the Pirates did a decent job. The Pirates tried to teach Miguel Delaunay. Remember that?
Oh, I remember him so well.
The speedster.
Yeah. I think some of the philosophy or some of the approach might be with those guys that have that kind of speed. They'll take their chances swinging the ball, and if they don't hit it solid, they still got a chance to beat it out. So maybe that the percentage backs into them.
Here's an example. He's got so many infield hits without bunting.
Yeah.
He gets the ball on the ground. He's got a chance to beat it out for a hit.
Poor Miguel Delaunay. He was my man when I was not pitching well, and they would make him go to the ballpark when we were on the road 9 o'clock in the morning and stand in the batter's box right after breakfast. And he had knots all over him, I'm afraid to say. And it's funny now, but it wasn't funny. He would hide in the lobby thinking he might miss the cab to go to the ballpark and stand in there. It was awful for me. It was really awful for me, but it was awful for him.
Way worse for him.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. And yeah, 2 or 3 times every trip, Miguel, we're leaving at 8:30 tomorrow morning, go to the ballpark.
Wow.
And stand in there. They didn't have, they got those cutouts now that they will put up in spring training. You see them like almost batter figures.
Yes.
And Miguel Delaunay would have paid his salary to buy one of those and put it in the cab.
To center field, and he makes the catch. Leonis Martin
doing everything.
Robs Marte of a hit.
Chips in, gets the glove underneath.
Tremendous look on the Allegheny Health Network Supermo.
Looks like he comes over and then the ball wants to go away from him, as Marte might have sliced it a little bit, but he stays with it. Yeah, standing ovation.
Pitcher loves it. Now Bell batting right-handed.
And Bell gets a call. That was a better at-bat for Starling Marte than he had the last time.
Yeah, yes. That was quite a catch. For those of you who are into the sabermetrics, the analytics, and StatCast, had an 11% chance of being caught, that ball. That's how good a catch that was. Another look. Sprint speed, the distance covered to hurry. Yeah.
He had to slide over and give a little ground. Coming straight in and then turning, staying with the flight of the ball.
Makes that catch even more impressive.
Because a right-hand batter, anytime he hits the ball on, if there's a direct line from home plate to the center field wall, anytime a right-hand batter hits it on the right field side of that, it's going to be slicing a little bit. They don't pull the ball from right center over towards center very often. But that ball that hits straight away from a right-hand batter is going to want to slide a little bit toward right field, and he stayed with it.
That makes it a 5-star catch, I believe, too, by the way. Strike 3 called, and Bell, you can see why he is upset, as that pitch was not in the zone, but he's called out. The Pirates retired in order for the second time in this game, trailing by a couple.
Fans, if you've been using that.
In any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Down 2 to the Tigers in the first game of this doubleheader. A wild one, 9-7.
Well, the Bucks were up 6-3 at one point, I believe.
Yeah, they were down 2-0. The Tigers in the first inning. They tied it up in the second. Tigers took the lead again in the third. Pirates took that 6-3 lead in the bottom of the third. Francisco Cervelli 3-run homer. The key to that big rally, as Marte should make the easy catch. James McCann is retired. And then the Tigers erupted for 5 in the fourth to make it 8-6. Bucks got a run back in the fifth. And then leading off against Edgar Santana, Jamer Candelario last inning homered. And Nicholas Castellanos has homered. Jose Iglesias 1 out of 3. Second inning of work for Edgar Santana. Well,
not trying to behead anybody, but maybe get somebody's attention after this 15-hit onslaught Tigers have been bringing.
yeah, you definitely don't want to go up there around the head, but you do want to try and
get their attention.
establish that inside part of the plate, because the way they've been digging in all game long.
Yep.
Make them think twice about taking those big hacks. Now it's 2-0 on Iglesias. Does not get that call.
I want to take a minute to give a tip of the cap to a member of the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank, Dennis McManus. I met him over the weekend out at in the Edgewood area. They do great work. Community Food Bank. There's a pitch in for a strike. Feed people in need and mobilize our community to eliminate hunger. We are a proud member of Feeding America. Dennis McManus, part of a group that does a lot of good.
Yeah, they do. Tremendous job, that's for sure. And Dickerson on, but it'll be a base hit for Iglesias. And now Mike Gerber. Oh, come on.
Tigers, number 13, Mike Gerber will back for stop. Mike Gerber.
Gerber was just called up yesterday as they designated for assignment pitcher Drew Verhagen.
A visit out to the mound by Uncle Ray. And also, while we have a moment, I want to say hello to Luke, who works out at the Get Go on Route 51. The car wash out there. Had a nice visit. Great Pirate fan.
We invite you to watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Mike Gerber. Let's see what Mercer and Frazier can do. They get one. The second out. Force play going 6-4. So Gerber at first, 2 outs. That'll bring up Leonis Martin, who homered to start this ball game. Big thank you to Patrick Huber of Creve Coeur, Illinois. Great Bucco fan, and got just a tremendous note from him. Thanks to Patrick. And our thoughts going out to Gil Lucas's family. Gil Lucas was a pioneer in the sports cable business in Pittsburgh.
Yep, he was there from the very beginning. Gilbert, all the folks with Richard Klauser and all the various entities that cable baseball in this town went through. And a good friend, just a nice man, Gil Lucas. Good man, to be missed. He had a lot to do with me getting an opportunity to do what I'm doing now, and it's not to be forgotten.
America's guest.
Yeah.
Used to call Gil.
But he got us on a lot of golf courses, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And we were guests of our guest, our good friend Gil. Yeah. Good man. He was all around the sports scene in his heyday.
Started KBL back in the mid-'80s.
KBL and HSC and all the...
Now AT&T Sportsnet.
Yeah.
Been there ever since.
Warner Cable for a while with Allie Sherman, the old Giants football coach.
Line to right, should carry to Polanco and will. The final out. Bucks down a couple. Martin, after fouling a pitch off, starting the game, it was a 2-2 count. He fouled a pitch that hit the dirt, came up and got him. And he was in some great discomfort for the longest time. Got back in the box. Jameson Time threw him a fastball away, went to 3-2. The next pitch he homered. Buck Farmer is the 4th pitcher to work for the Tigers.
Yep. 10 innings, 7 walks issued in those 10 innings. Got knocked around his first start. He's been better for the Tigers since then. Working with a 2-run lead.
Corey Dickerson, a couple of hits. Toward right, and this is going to get down, and Corey Dickerson has his 3rd hit of the day.
Just a nice, comfortable double. Had that bounce, Greg, that bounced in front of the wall out there on the warning track, and one of those bounces bounces straight up, so really doesn't help the outfielder coming out there to pick up the ball. He's got to go find it. There's the location. Cutter, breaking ball, it stayed in the middle part of the plate, and Buck Farmer paid for it. There's that nice bounce that makes right fielder Castellanos go get the ball. Makes it easy to get into second base.
Now here is Francisco Cervelli. 3-run homer, RBI single his last 2 times up. And the exaggerated turn and groan. Cervelli has driven in 5 runs twice in his career. Had a 5 RBI game in July last year against the Chicago Cubs. And as a member of the Yankees, had a 5 RBI game in 2010 at Fenway Park in Boston.
And Farmer behind in the count. As we said, he's walked 7 in 10 innings. Nothing wrong with that one right down Broadway. Francisco might want that one back to have a whack at it.
Steve gave those numbers. Certainly the Pirates aware of the control issues, so they want to be patient and make sure they do see a strike. And now James McCann goes out to talk to Farmer. As Ron Gardenhire paces a little bit. A lot of success with the Minnesota Twins. Gardenhire, 13 years as skipper of the Twins, 2002 through 2014. Alex Wilson up. And it's a walk. 2 aboard.
Did Gardenhire take over right after Tom Kelly? Was he next?
Yep.
Yeah. Tom Kelly was there quite a while.
Gardenhire started his career with a run of 6 American League Central titles in 9 years with the Twins. And then he finished up last 4 seasons with 92 losses or more each of the last 4 years. And here comes Chris Basio.
Mound visits are coming in bunches now. The catcher was just out there, and now.
Yeah, they figure they've got, haven't used any of them, so both Basio and Searage now, and the catchers, Cervelli and McCann, going to start using them up. Joey Cora, meantime, will have a word with Colin Moran, maybe about where he sees how they're positioning him, maybe, or maybe just Pass along one-liner. Game 2 coming up. And then tomorrow afternoon, this series will conclude. Matinee game. Our Nissan Road ahead. In the second game, it's Chad Kuhl against the lefty Matthew Boyd.
Yeah, look at that. 0-1 with a 140 ERA. How is he not one? It's not his first start. He's start number what? 5 for Boyd? 4.
Colin Moran has been on base 3 times. 2-run homer, a walk, and a single.
No, defensively, they're not looking for a bunt, are they?
Wouldn't think so. Look out here. Yes, McCann fires down to try and get Dickerson napping.
Farmer has been touched for 2 home runs. Gets you thinking along those lines. Righty against lefty.
That's a double play ball. So Moran does not run well at all, but they don't even think about throwing to first. There's a big break. Jose Iglesias doesn't even look at first base. Colin Moran does not run well at all. And that was about as routine as it gets.
Yeah, that was bizarre because, they never looked. Now he's playing pretty deep.
Look at, he turns to first. He's got a.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How about that?
I don't.
That's not knowing. In my opinion, anyway, Steve. That's
the speed of your runner.
Not knowing who's batting.
Yep.
Assuming the way that ball was hit that you're not going to get a double play, and against most hitters you probably wouldn't. Well, Gardenhire will go to Alex Wilson now with runners at first and third. Pirates still in business with 1 out. Down a pair. Going to be pinch hitting. And Clint Hurdle hoping his Pirates can rally here against Alex Wilson. Buck Farmer faced 3 batters, got 1 out.
He has worked 12 innings, has given up 9 runs.
And in fact has given up 3 go-ahead homers in 9 appearances. Stephen Brault continues to want to lobby for an opportunity here.
Didn't put that bat down. Okay, another opportunity for the Pirates.
Buck scoring 2 in the second, 4 in the third, 1 in the fifth. Here we are in the 7th, down 2. Lays off. Alex Wilson, drafted by the Boston Red Sox. He was a second-round pick in 2009 out of Texas A&M. Came over in the Rick Porcello deal to Detroit. It's 3-0.
Trying to keep the ball away, and he's doing it. 3 wide ones.
Strike. It was Alex Wilson who gave up the 3-run homer to Gregory Polanco opening day, the 13th inning. He had pitched a couple of scoreless frames, the 11th and 12th, and got the first 2 outs of the 13th. And now it's 3-2.
Well, he's been knocked around, but in his 12 innings, he has recorded 10 strikeouts.
Pitcher Stephen Brault wants a shot. And a pop-up. That's not going to do it. That'll be the second out.
Big comeback for Wilson, behind 3-0. That's a huge comeback.
Not able to get that runner home from third. And now Sean Rodriguez have to do it with 2 outs. Bucks have had some 2-out action. Colin Moran's home run, Francisco Cervelli's homer.
Wilson has thrown a couple of wild pitches. Comes into play with a man at third. Anything to get at least 1 run out of this.
Bullpen action for the Pirates. Michael Felice, the righty, the lefty, Enny Romero. Again, Pirates down 2 with 2 on, 2 outs. And this will be the final out of this 7th inning. The Pirates strand 2 more. They left 8 on through 7, trailing by a couple. Tigers lead game 1 of the doubleheader. And as you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the hold true moment later in today's game. And Jeimer Candelario, who has scored 4 runs, has 3 hits and 4 at-bats, is a triple shy of the cycle. What a day for the third baseman of the Detroit Tigers, starting with the double past Josh Bell. And then against Jamison Tyone in the 3rd inning, he singles to right field. After a force play, he homers in the 6th off of Edgar Santana. Switch hitter now will bat right-handed against the lefty Enny Romero.
Fourth appearance. So Edgar Santana goes a couple of innings, gives up a leadoff home run, but after that shuts it down. So 2 innings, a run, 3 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts for Edgar Santana. And Romero becomes the 5th Pirate pitcher of the afternoon. Game 1. Got another one after this one.
Bell goes way to his right, and now Frazier throws it past as Cervelli backs up on the play.
That was a disaster as it started. Josh has no reason to go that far over towards second base. And there's the ball chopped right at the second baseman. In fact, Frazier's almost directly in front of that ball. And Josh makes the commitment early.
Error on Frazier.
Yep.
That's hammered toward right center field. There is Marte on the run and can't get there. And it's second and third. A double by Cabrera. Another extra base hit.
Is Marte walking away from this play a little gingerly? See the ball slicing away. It's continuing to run away from him.
Second and third, nobody out. And here is Nicholas Castellanos. It's a wild pitch, will score another run. An ugly start to this inning, the error, and now after the double, a wild pitch, and it's a 3-run lead. As Candelario scores his 5th run.
And now Cervelli's going to talk with Romero. Got to believe about the signs. This is a bad looking top of the 8th inning.
The infield does not come all the way in because Cabrera doesn't run well, so they give themselves a little more room. Pirates came into this game having lost 4 straight, the 4-game series in Philadelphia, and 6 of their last 7. Nicholas Castellanos, 3 hits. Hits this to right. Drops in front of Polanco. Another run, 11-7. Castellanos drives in his 4th run of the game. Castellanos with 3 singles and a homer.
You know, I want to say you look at the top 4 batters in this lineup and it's all kind of offense, but you look down below that and it's more all kind of offense.
Last Detroit Tiger, by the way, to score 5 runs in a game. Have to go back 10 years. Carlos Guillen, the last Tiger to score 5 runs in 1 game. Jeimer Candelario has done that in this one. 18 hits, 11 runs for Detroit. Castellanos driving in Cabrera from third. Miguel Cabrera with 3 hits and a 2-run double in the fourth. And Andy Romero walks Jacoby Jones. Believe it or not, it is hard to believe that's the first walk allowed by a Pirates pitcher. All the stuff that's been going on.
Well, the Tiger hitters haven't been taking too much.
No.
18 hits, 11 runs.
And the first walk.
Yep. And nobody out in the top of the 8th.
Pirates picked up Andy Romero from the Washington Nationals. They claimed him off waivers 11 days ago. Gave up a run in 2 innings in his Pirates debut on Wednesday against the Colorado Rockies. Francisco Liriano is back with Ron Gardenhire. So they were with the Twins together. A former Pirate. Liriano now in the starting rotation for the Tigers. Ron Gardenhire talked about those years with the Twins. He and Clint Hurdle were teammates with the New York Mets back in the 80s. And Ray Searage was a teammate of Gardenhire's with the Mets. And right now Gardenhire's Tigers have the upper hand, leading 11-7. Oh, that's a hard hit ball to left. Hit so hard that Dave Clark will stop Castellanos at third.
Sounded like he hit that with a wagon hitch.
Nico Goodrum, after striking out his first 4 times to the plate. A base hit to left. They're loaded with nobody out, and now the Tigers threaten to make this one a laugher. Pirates bullpen, after Tyone gave up 7 in 3 2/3, not able to shut down the Tigers. Pirates had some opportunities against Detroit's bullpen. They did score 1. Well, so pulled, but since then, not able to cash in. Infield in against James McCann. Seven-game hitting streak for him. McCann now the starting catcher. For a while it was Alex Avila, the son of the Tigers general manager, who in a span of less than 5 months starting last summer traded Justin Verlander and Justin Wilson and J.D. Martinez and Ian Kinsler, his own son Alex.
Nobody was safe.
There's part of the brain trust, Jim Leland, the former Pirate and Tiger skipper, who works for the Tigers. Brad Ausmus replaced him as the manager, and a pop-up on the infield, and the infield fly is called, if it's fair, and it's caught by Bell for the first out. Romero gets the first out of the 8th. Brings up Jose Iglesias. who has a couple of hits himself. Shortstop. Hit hard to center, plenty deep. To bring home the 12th run of the game as Marte will make the catch. Iglesias gets the RBI. Castellanos comes in. Everybody advances.
Come on, baby. Come on.
Now it's 12-7. And Victor Martinez. Normally their designated hitter. Veteran switch hitter. He'll pinch hit here in the 8th. Talk about the Tigers unloading all those players, try and get the payroll down. And they still have players like Miguel Cabrera and Jordan Zimmerman, the starter today, and Martinez still on the books. One more year, $18 million for him. And 11 more Tigers are eligible for salary arbitration going into next year. It'll be an interesting winter for the Tigers. Miguel Cabrera, he is still guaranteed 6 more years, having turned 35 last Wednesday.
For many of the Tigers, they're probably thinking it's still last winter with the weather they've run into to start their season.
And they decide to intentionally walk Victor Martinez. And now it's Leonis Martin with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And he could cap off quite a day. Thursday against the Orioles, Martin with the grand slam. First grand slam of his career off Mike Wright Jr., 5th inning. And popped up. And Mercer calls for it. And that'll do it, but 3 more runs score. Inning started with an error. And the Tigers lead at 12-7.
Is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
12-7 Tigers lead the first game of this doubleheader. Day for the offense, especially the Tigers bats. Now Joe Jimenez faces Adam Frazier.
And greets him with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Fifth man out of the Detroit bullpen is out in front, 0-2. 11th appearance. And doing a good job. Opponent's hitting just 171.
Frazier bounces to Goodrum, 1 out.
Greg, it's one of those games that has evolved into a situation where it went back and forth so much, both managers have had to go deep into the bullpen. It's not just like one team is running away and can preserve what they can for game 2. Both of them have, both managers have had a chance to be involved throughout, and both dipped into that pen. Pirates have used 4 to this point, and the Tigers 5.
Not using Daniel Norris or Shane Green, their closer. Tigers. You saw on that lineup card that the Pirates have not used Felice, Glass, now Cantos, or Felipe.
See where the Dodgers bought Daniel Hudson to the big leagues.
Did not see that
in the paper today.
Daniel Hudson was traded in spring training to the Tampa Bay Rays along with a Pirates minor league infielder for Corey Dickerson, and then was released by Tampa Bay early in the season. Dodgers signed him to a minor league deal. I did not see they brought him up. Well, there's a big buzz in Atlanta as one of the top prospects in baseball, Ronald Acuna Jr., is going to make his Braves debut tonight against the Reds. Much anticipated call-up of Acuna. And the 4-pitch walk to Gregory Polanco with 1 out. Pirates and Tigers will play the second game of the doubleheader with Chad Kuhl on the mound. The Bucks against lefty Matthew Boyd. Tomorrow, Ivan Nova for the Bucks against Michael Fulmer.
.12:35 contest.
And the Tigers will continue this road trip into Baltimore. The Pirates stay here, host the Cardinals. On a strike. And to right. 2 on with 1 out.
So the last 2 at-bats for Marte have been much better after that weird strikeout. Or swing and miss.
Josh Bell is hitless in 4 trips, does have an RBI. Got a 3rd inning ground out. A long ball would make this interesting. A little broken bat in on the hands. It's a fair ball. He didn't expect it to be. Nobody did. Base hit for Bell. Sawed him off. And everybody figured that was a routine foul pop-up. and it drops fair for an RBI hit.
That was strange.
First and third as Polanco scores.
That ball almost was going to hit him. Yeah, he certainly doesn't expect it to be a fair ball.
Didn't know where it was.
Yeah, he's looking straight up. Yep, okay, now it's time to go. But he popped it up. Strange doings.
So it's a 12-8 game.
And it continues to be interesting.
Corey Dickerson steps up. He has 3 hits, a couple of singles and a double. And it's called a ball.
Everybody trying to maintain their focus and concentration the latter stages of this contest.
Late decision to swing. Double checking with Mike Winters. That was a strike. Marte, the base hit to right and broken bat single the other way by Bell. Gardenhire does not want to go to his closer yet, obviously, but at the moment it would be a save situation.
Green.
Shane Green, we'll wait for him to get up in the pen at least for the time being. A half swing foul.
You know, it's a little sidebar to this whole game is what a second game starter goes through waiting for his chance to get out there and go to work. Just antsy and sitting there waiting. Hoping you guys are doing good, but waiting for your shot.
Dickerson stays alive. 2-2 on the Pirates left fielder. Singled and was aboard when Colin Moran homered in the second. After he struck out in the third, he singled and scored on the Cervelli base hit after a wild pitch had gotten him to second. And he led off the 7th inning with a double. Pirates could not cash him in. That was tough.
Don't have to get them all in one swing.
Again,
just keep the ball rolling.
Two of his 3 hits have come with 2 strikes as he goes into that 2-strike approach we talked about earlier. Choking up. Trying to stay alive.
Joey Votto look.
They want it upstairs. And he gets it up. And that's just a pop up to center. Will be the second out. He's not going to risk trying to score.
Nowhere to go.
Down 4. It's a big second out for Jimenez. Now Cervelli.
He's had himself a good day.
4 ribbies and on base 3 times. Homered in the 3rd. Colin Moran is on deck. I mentioned earlier that Cervelli has had 2 5 RBI games. One as a Pirate, one as a Yankee. And down and up.
Couldn't hold back. Couldn't hold back and couldn't turn it loose.
Two and two. Pirates have drawn 4 walks total in this ball game. And gets interesting, 3 and 2. Hoping to get Moran to the plate. Yeah, that's drilled toward left center field. That's going to split the outfielders. What a day for Francisco Cervelli. Career high 6 runs batted in. And he's made a game of it. The Pirates within 2. Vita Bella, homer, single, walk, double, and 6 runs batted in.
Boy, that split the gap. He hit it with a lot of authority, a little hook to it, and that kept it right in that lane, right toward the bullpen door. On it. Pirate catcher Francisco Cervelli. Going shopping at the gap.
6 RBIs, career high, 18 on the year. He's now a triple shy of the cycle, and the Pirates are a long ball away from tying this game.
Told you it wasn't gonna stop at an 8-6 score.
To start getting up Vasquez because the pitcher spot is in the hole. Mercer next. Moran toward left center, and nice running grab by Jacoby Jones.
That ball was hit well. Couldn't catch the gap on that one.
Pirates score 3, down a pair. Starts at noon with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason right here on AT&T Sportsnet. You know he's hanging in there, the president of the left field loonies, Ross Morgan.
Yep. President and founder?
Yes.
Yep, whole deal.
Just the executive secretary, treasurer. Oh,
He really is Captain Morgan, isn't he?
No, he is. Yep. Andy Romero, his job is to put up a 0 here. I wonder if the Pirates even considered they've got you know, Felice available.
Yeah.
Especially with Cabrera and Castellanos coming up. Two right-handed hitters. Candelario switch hitter. But you fought your way back to within 2. Let me see what's available. Felice, Glass now, Contos, and Felipe, the lefty, who was getting ready in the bullpen as the Pirates approach that 9th spot of the order. See if Romero can put up a 0. Give the Pirates a chance against Shane Green. Candelario's home run came off Edgar Santana leading off the 6th. He has also doubled, singled, reached on an error, and scored 5. Yeah, another night where you need to find some heat as it started to cool off. Played in a drizzle much of this first game.
And now we're back to normal, just cold.
Yep. Candelario will need a new bat.
Well, it's been a theme for the Pittsburgh Pirates so far this year. When the weather's cold, they hit. Been a lot of early games where they've swung the bats well in the cold weather.
That's funny because Clint Hurdle was talking about when he was asked why there are so many strikeouts throughout baseball this year. 5,562 as of yesterday. 5,174 hits. So 388 more strikeouts than hits in baseball. There's never been a full month with more strikeouts than hits across the league. And as Clint Hurdle thought about it for a moment, he believes that, as you said, Steve, it's hard to hit in the cold, though the Pirates seem to be an exception. And now it's becoming quite a battle here between Andy Romero and Jeimer Candelario. 8 pitches so far. Francisco Cervelli, career high 6 RBIs in this game.
Candelario's won all his battles so far today.
Pirates have collected 14 hits. And he gets him. Speaking of strikeouts, 10 pitch at bat comes to an end with the strikeout of Jeimer Candelario. Good work for Andy Romero. Miguel Cabrera. The second game will follow, well, about maybe half an hour between games. This one started 4:05. Ball one.
A lot of concentration of a lot of baseball here in a short period of time. Doubleheader tonight, day game tomorrow.
On Nova tomorrow, he's seated. Joe Musgrove, foreground. 1-1 strike on Cabrera. Has driven in a pair. He has 3 hits, has scored a couple. Suffered through his worst season of his career last year. Was not enjoying full health most of the season. Rips this one. And ho-hum, 4 hits for Cabrera. He's thinking 2. And he hustles it into a double.
He still got it. He has still got it.
Miguel Cabrera. That's about it for Cabrera. That's full speed right there. His third double now.
Well, you cannot get inside on him in the strike zone. If you want to get in, you got to get off the plate inside. He's so quick, like all the good hitters. Yeah, that's all, 20.
Castellanos has walked intentionally. And Jacoby Jones has been no day at the beach. He's been swinging a hot bat for these Tigers. He's on base 3 times in this one. RBI double in the first, extended his hitting streak to 7 straight games. This former 3rd-round pick of the Pirates 5 years ago out of LSU. 25 years old. Chickasha, Oklahoma, traded to Detroit from Pittsburgh. Deadline deal 2015. The Pirates got Joakim Soria to help shore up the bullpen. Andy Romero.
Just to give you a little feel for perspective, on this date in 1913, Christy Matheson pitched a complete game win over somebody throwing 67 pitches. How long do you think that game took?
It took 4 hours, from what I understand. 4:10.
Yeah, very deliberate worker.
Yeah. And Jacoby Jones down on strikes. He's also on this date one of the more famous moments in baseball history. It was on this day in 1976 that Rick Monday saves the flag, swipes it away from 2 fans who jumped onto the field, tried to burn the American flag, and Rick Monday came in and swiped it for the save. On this day in 1976, a little dribbler, Cervelli, and past Bell. And this is going to score another run. Cabrera scores. And it's a 3-run lead. Clint Hurdle might be asking, was he running inside the lane or not? That's a good question.
And he gets a quick answer.
Yeah, apparently he says he was.
Catcher James McCann.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
It's not challengeable.
Okay.
So Mike Winters, the crew chief, you think he'd ask for help? I mean, Clint Hurdle must have said, can you ask Chris Siegel for help? But yeah, I've heard people say what the catcher needs to do is throw it right at the guy's back. That's the only way you get that call. James McCann now takes ball 1. 13-10.
Twenty hits, 13 runs.
Goes as a straight error on Cervelli. No RBI. Broken bat pop up. And Polanco there. An unearned run comes in. And the Pirates trail by 3, heading to the bottom of the 9th. Pirates with 14 hits have scored 10, but they trail by 3. And Jordy Mercer leads off.
Try to get it done against the Detroit closer, Shane Green. He has 3 here. He's worked, if you round it off, 9 innings, has struck out 11.
Pirates scored 3 runs off of him in the 9th inning in Detroit, opening game of the season.
Well, be nice to put up a 3 spot here.
About 3 unearned runs the last 2 innings allowed by the Pirates. How big is that? Well, it's the difference in the game right now.
Yeah, only everything.
Yep. Error by Adam Frazier started the 8th, and the error by Cervelli scored Cabrera in the top of this 9th. But they've got a shot, down 3. Ball to strike. And now Mercer down to his last strike. Pirates down to their final at bats here in the bottom of the 9th.
It's been busy.
Yeah.
It has been busy.
And to right for the first out of the bottom of the 9th. Elias Diaz will pinch hit. Green tries to earn the save. Diaz will more than likely catch game 2. Two. Francisco Cervelli, big day at the plate. Career high 6 runs batted in.
Well, the Pirates sure did break out of their offensive slump. But the pitching just didn't get it done.
Ten or more runs in a 132-year history of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Only 50 times have they scored 10 or more runs in a game and lost. Extremely rare. A team that's played close to 20,000 games. Lost one such game last year, in fact.
Well, they've been on the other end of the spectrum too. They won a game where they scored 1 run. That doesn't happen very often.
2-2.
Well, the Nationals are doing a similar number, not quite the same. They're winning 15-2 over the Giants in San Francisco.
Just Samardzija, I think, started that game. And hit to center. Martin started back, comes in for the second out.
Maybe you'll do better with Bob in the second game.
I hope so.
I hope you do too.
You are to go.
I'm being banished to
the radio
radio
booth.
All right.
That's an order. Adam Frazier, 1 hit in his 5 trips. And the shortstop, Iglesias on to first, and the Pirates have lost 5 in a row and 7 of 8 as the offense has a big day, but bigger for Detroit, outlasting the Pirates.
And we get to start it up again in a few minutes.
13-10 final in game 1, down to Rob and Michael.
Greg and Steve, thanks very much. And tough as the losing ways continues for 4 days in Philadelphia. It was mostly about the offense today. It was about the inability to keep the Tigers' offense in check.
Yeah, this one was a lot different than in Philadelphia. The bats started going really good. There was a lot of positives in the sense of the fight that they had coming back, but they could not put it together on the mound today. They had a lot of ifs, ands, and buts on the mound. Move forward to the next game.
But just like we promised earlier in the game, it's the Miller Lite hold true moment. And how about Francisco Cervelli? You talk about continuing to battle. Cervelli helped the Pirates briefly get a lead in this game. a career-high 6 runs batted in for Francisco Cervelli.
Yeah, what a day at the plate. This guy looked comfortable from the get-go. He was moving away from pitches just an inch or so inside, not biting for anything off speed or off the plate, and he hit that breaking ball out to left field 3-1. I mean, this guy had a big day at the plate. Special day, something he'll never forget. I know he hates that they lost, but it was a good day for him.
Pirates about 25 minutes or so to regroup before game 2 of this doubleheader begins, a game that Michael and I are going to be talking about coming up on Pirates Postgame presented by the Allegheny Health Network. We'll also take a look at Joe Musgrove. Has he gotten closer to rejoining the Pirates? We'll tell you how his simulated game went today. We have highlights from this one. You'll hear from manager Clint Hurdle. We have other highlights from around the league as well, and more coming up next on Pirates Postgame.